Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Renaissance Hour with Sebastian Ellis. Hope everyone's having a fantastic Friday afternoon. Now, I know I didn't do one yesterday, and there's actually going to be a bit of a change in the schedule. Due to the software that I have and some issues I've been having, I'm going to have to do one 3 times a week. And that's going to be on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. We are going to continue the decades list, so today is the 40s, and luckily the 40s Fridays work, so that's pretty fantastic. And next up on Monday, we'll have the 50s, and on Wednesday, we shall conclude with the 60s, which is going to be really fantastic. The first song we're going to get to here, I love the 1940s. It's a great era for music, wonderful lyrics, everything else, and this is one that was introduced to me by a good friend of mine, and it's a great song from around 1945 or so. It's the most grammatically incorrect tongue twister you ever heard. Is you is or is you ain't my baby? Well, I got a gal who's always late every time we make a date, but I love her. Yes, I really love her. I'm gonna walk up to her gate, see if we can't get this thing straight, 'cause I want her. You know, I intend to have her. I'm gonna ask her, is you is or is you ain't my baby? All the way you're acting lately makes me doubt. I said, is you still might be my baby, baby? Seems that flame in your heart's done gone out. Let me tell you, woman, a woman is a creature that has always been strange, and just when you think you know her, she goes and makes a change. Well, I said, is you is or is you ain't my baby? Maybe baby's found somebody new, or is my baby still my baby true? Wow, let me dig it for you. You ain't my baby. The way you're acting lately, sugar, it just making me down. 'Cause I said, is you still my baby? Seems that flame in your heart's done gone out. Well, a woman is a creature that has always been strange. Just when you think you know her, she goes and makes a change. I said, is you is or is you ain't my baby? Maybe baby's found somebody new, or it's my I said, is my baby still my baby true? Is you ain't, oh yeah. Is you is or is you ain't my baby? What a fantastic song. I love that song. One of my all-time favorites. And the next song here is a request that I got from Miss Arliss Barkley, who sent me a message a couple of days ago, to do a Fats Waller song. And this song is not from the 1940s, it is actually from the 1930s, but we only did a very short episode the last time with 2 songs, and so it's only fair that we include one like this. Just the piano and the vocals, because that's the best way to cover a Fats Waller tune. He's one of my favorites. Great performer. You should check him out on YouTube and everything else. He's a great guy. There's a story about Fats Waller that he was big in Chicago. One day he was walking down the street and a black car pulled up and the door opened and this guy got out and he said, "Get in the car." Fats Waller said, "No." And the guy showed Fats Waller that he had a gun in his jacket and he said, "Get in the car." So, a little bit frightened, Fats Waller got in the car, they put a black bag over his head, and when they pulled it off, he was in an underground kind of speakeasy bar type thing, and he was surrounded by all the top gangsters in the city, and right in the middle was Mr. Al Capone himself. And they had a piano there for him, and someone took their hat off and put it upside down on the piano and put a wad of cash in there. And every song that they requested from him, they put tons of cash in the hat. And when they were done, they gave him the money, put the black bag over his head, and took him back out again. That was a pretty close call. And I guess sometimes it pays to be a musician. This is my favorite Fats Waller song, one of the most insulting but funny songs of all time. Your feet's too big. Well, up in Harlem, at a table for 2, there were 4 of us. Me, your big feet, and you. From your ankles on up, you sure are sweet, but from there on down, there's just too much feet. You know your feet's too big. I can't have you 'cause your feet's too big. I'm mad at you 'cause your feet's too big. I won't tolerate you 'cause your feet's too big. Bow, ba-da, bow. Where'd you get 'em? Bow, bow, ba-da, bow. So upset. Your gal she likes you, says she thinks you're nice. You got everything she needs to be in paradise. She says she likes your style, she likes your rig. Man, oh man, kid, them things are too big. Feet's too big. She can't have you 'cause your feet's too big. She's really not attracted to you 'cause your feet's too big, kid. Won't tolerate you 'cause your feet's too big. Wow, yeah. So upset. Your gal she likes you, says she thinks you're nice, and you got everything she needs to be in paradise. She says she likes your face, and she likes your rig. Oh man, kid, them things are just too big. Your feet's too big. She can't have you 'cause your feet's too big. She really can't stand you 'cause your feet's too big. She won't tolerate you 'cause your feet's too big. Well, let me tell you that your pedal extremities are colossal. To me it looks just like a fossil. Stomping around something awful, 'cause your feet's too big. Bow, 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 bow. Do, I'm too big. Yeah, your pedal extremities really are colossal. Must be kind of off-putting. Anyhow, this next song we're going to get to is from 1942, and it's from a very well-known Disney movie called The Jungle Book. And I covered this song a little while ago, and since it's from the 1940s, I figured I'd put it in here. It's probably my favorite Disney song, and it's a lot of people's favorite Disney songs, I think. Sung by Baloo the Bear in the 1942 Disney film Jungle Book. I believe it needs no introduction. Here is the Bare Necessities. Look for the bare necessities, those simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. It's why the bears can rest at ease in just the bare necessities of life. Wherever I wander, wherever I roam, you know I couldn't be fonder of my big home. The bees are buzzing in the trees to make some honey just for me. And you look under the rocks and plants and take a glance at the fancy ants and maybe try a few. The bare necessities of life will come to you. necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities, oh Mother Nature's recipes that bring the bare necessities of life. If you pick a pawpaw or a prickly pear, and you prick a raw paw, well next time beware. You can't pick a prickly pear by the paw. When you pick a pear, you got to use your claw. But you don't have to use the claw when you pick a pear from one of them big pawpaws. Have I given you a clue? The bare necessities of life will come to you. Yeah, look for the bare necessities, the simple bare necessities. Forget about your worries and your strife. I mean the bare necessities. It's why a bear can rest at ease with just the bare necessities of life. Ooh, so just relax, kick back, take it easy in my backyard. Cause let me tell you something, kid. If you act like that bee acts, being buzzing around there, you're working much too hard. And don't spend your time looking around for something that you want that just can't be found. When you find out you can live without it, then go on, not thinking about it. I'll tell you something true. The bare necessities of life will come to you. Oh yeah, the bare necessities of life will come to you. Alright, the bare necessities. I think we need a little bit of that now. The forget about your worries and your doubts. And if you act like that bee acts, you're working much too hard. Well, I can definitely resonate with that. Life is a little bit too short to go rushing around all the time, so you better stop and smell the roses every now and again. Anyhow, that's about all the time that we have for today, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode. We have a very exciting announcement to make, which is that the Renaissance Hour is now officially a podcast. So if you go onto iTunes and you search Sebastian Ellis, The Renaissance Hour, or just The Renaissance Hour, it should come up there. And by the time you do that, this episode, as well as all the episodes before, will be uploaded. And we thank you very much for your subscriptions and everything else. This last song, and also the link will be in the description below for podcast. This last song was requested to me by a very, very close friend of mine called Nipa Chauhan, who I miss very, very much. Holed up here in Feversham, Ontario, and she's out there fighting the good fight, and I'm trying to do the same thing from my humble basement studio here. And with that, this is We'll Meet Again by Vera Lynn from way back in World War II, and I think it's a great song to be playing in these troubled times where we're far away from our friends and family. So don't worry, folks, we shall meet again. This is the Renaissance Hour. You're listening to Sebastian Ellis, and keep on rocking the old-fashioned way. We'll meet again. Don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Just keep shining through, just like you always do. Till the bright sky sends the dark clouds far away. So won't you please say hello to the folks that I know, tell them I won't be long. They'll be happy to know that when you saw me go, I was singing this song. We'll meet again, don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again some sunny day. Please say hello to them folks that I know. Tell them I won't be very long, 'cause they'll be happy to know that when you saw me go, I was singing that song. Whoa, we'll meet again. I don't know where, don't know when, but I know we'll meet again. Yes, baby, I know we'll meet again. Well, I know we'll meet again some sunny day.